Good morning, TikTok. All right, we've got an Audi TT towed in today. This has come from the same workshop that had issues with the Ford Falcon. So I don't know if you will have seen that video yet. But anyway, moving on and forward. Car is a crank no start. I know it's had a lot of stuff done and looked at. I've been told apparently it has no injection pulse or coil control or something. We've got this, whatever this all is, at the PCM. I don't think that's genuine, but anyways, we're gonna see what happens, I guess. All our main battery feeds and everything are loose. I've got terminals just sitting there, so we're gonna hook the scan tool up anyway. It is definitely a crank no start, so that's confirmed. It'll crank all day long. Everything here's unplugged as well. So anyway, moving on and forward, we're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna do a fault report to start and then just take it from there. I'm just mid-scan and I am firing up ELSA Win, which is the tech info, information diagrams, etc. for DAG. You can already see an issue. We've got no comm with the ECM, so that's not happy. We are going to crack on with that. I'm going to just quickly have a look at what all this unplugged stuff is as well. So all these yellow wires actually are OEM. It's just a harness that's been completely cut open, so I'm not too worried about that. I am going for this ECM. All right, as you can see, we have no communication with the engine computer. Now, when I put the key on, we've got no throttle, no response of any sort in there. So of course, obviously, if the ECU is offline, we're not going to have injector or coil control or anything like that. So this scan tool isn't going to do a whole lot for us now. We're going straight to wiring diagrams and straight to pinpoint testing at the computer. All right, so diagrams. Our PCM control unit is J220, so we're looking for all these main power and relay feeds here. This G235 is temperature sensor, so we're not worried about that. These two fuses, F88, that is power steering assisted pressure switch, so we're not worried about that. What do we got here? These, I think, are going to be our fuse feeds. All right, update on our Audi. I'm calling a computer on it. Reason being, and I'll go through with everyone what we've checked. We might even pull up the diagrams. No comms with the engine ECU, so same as obviously with it unplugged. This is what we got, crank no start. Fault set, communication faults with multiple modules. Everything is communicating, but the actual engine ECU itself. Now, this is a printout of the communication diagram. So if we look at this, this is an all data diagram. It is redrawn, but it's accurate. Our engine ECU here has orange and brown, orange and black cam wires on pin 58 and 60. This unit is not communicating at all. We have communication with our cluster, steering angle, ABS, all drive control module, etc. And they all communicate fine. So we've load tested powers and grounds at the ECU. We've checked powers and grounds. I've also checked the input. So how these systems work is this ECU will receive an ignition input via CAN network and via a wire. This ECU will then ground a violet wire on pin 21, which is in here, which runs down to here. That will control this relay, which sends a main power feed back to the PCM on that black and violet wire and out to all our auxiliary components. What's happening is, even if I manually energize that relay and get our ignition 12 volt up here, it is not passing through the actual PCM, and we have no feed or control or communication of anything in the engine bay. So anything that this PCM commands and controls, we have no power to it. We have no 5 volt reference output from the computer, etc. So we're confident that all our wiring up to it is good. The network resistance is good, it's at 60 ohms. So I need to get a PCM, matching part number PCM in there, and take it from there. I'm not fussed about wiring issues at this stage, even with how it all looks. So that's where we're at. If we get a go-ahead or a repair or anything for this, then there'll be updates on it, and we'll take everyone through it, especially the coding and programming, because that may well be a nightmare, but we'll see how we go. If the customer doesn't want to go any further, then this will be the end of it. But at this stage, it needs a new PCM. And something that I noticed later, which I did wish I noticed earlier, was that someone has already been in here and had this cut open. This is aftermarket silicon. They don't use that silicon there. And as you can see, there's screwdriver marks all along the edges. So someone's already been in here and had a crack, had this open, looked at the board, done whatever the hell they wanted to do. But we need new PCM, and we're going to take it from there.